When your cat ignores you, do you actually know what that means? It feels obvious, like they're being distant, maybe even a little cold. But behind that simple behavior, there's something deeper that most people miss. It's one of the most emotionally loaded things your cat can do. And if you ignore it or misread it, which most owners do, you might actually be pushing them away without realizing it. Let's start with what that silence really means. Have you ever called your cat and they just sit there? No reaction, no eye contact, nothing? Most people think it's about attitude, like your cat just doesn't care. But here's what's actually happening. Your cat isn't ignoring you because they don't feel connected. They're ignoring you because they feel completely safe with you. In feline behavior, attention is energy, and energy is something they only spend when necessary. When your cat doesn't react, it means they don't feel the need to monitor you, assess you, or protect themselves from you. That silence is trust. Think about that for a second. In the wild, cats are always alert, always scanning, always ready. But in your presence, your cat can switch that off. That means your cat doesn't see you as a threat, not even a small one. And by the way, if your cat ever suddenly stops ignoring you and becomes unusually clingy or vocal, don't brush it off. We'll get to what that really means later, and it's something most owners wish they'd understood sooner. Because what feels like distance is often the strongest form of closeness your cat knows how to show. Now, here's where it gets even more powerful. Have you noticed your cat sometimes comes to you and other times completely ignores you? Most people think it's random, but here's what's actually happening. A 2019 study from the University of Tokyo found that cats form secure attachments to their owners, similar to how infants bond with caregivers. But, unlike dogs, cats regulate that attachment through distance. They don't need constant interaction to feel connected. In fact, they need space. When your cat ignores you, they're not disconnecting, they're maintaining emotional balance. Too much interaction can overwhelm them. Too little can create uncertainty. So they move in and out of your space in a rhythm. That rhythm is how they stay bonded to you. Think about that for a second. Your cat isn't inconsistent, they're intentional. They approach when they want connection, they withdraw when they feel secure. And what makes this even more meaningful is they trust that you'll still be there when they come back. That's not distance, that's confidence in your relationship. Now, here's something most people don't realize. Have you ever noticed your cat ignores you but still stays in the same room, maybe even sits near you without interacting? Most people think that's indifference, but here's what's actually happening. Cats rely heavily on scent to define their world, and when your cat spends time near you, even without interacting, they're reinforcing a shared scent environment. Your presence becomes familiar, predictable, safe. Researchers who study feline behavior call this passive bonding. Your cat doesn't need to touch you to feel connected, just being near you is enough. And here's the emotional reframe. Your cat isn't ignoring you, they're existing with you. Think about that for a second. They could be anywhere in the house, but they choose your space. Not to engage, but to belong. That's how cats say, "You're part of my world," and every quiet moment you share is strengthening that invisible connection. And hey, if this makes sense to you, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more cat lovers who actually want to understand what their cat is really saying. Now let's go deeper. Where does this behavior actually come from? Most people assume. Think about that for a second. Your cat ignoring you isn't laziness. It's the absence of fear. And here's where it gets even more powerful. They've only reached that state around beings they fully trust. So when your cat lies nearby, eyes half closed, not reacting to your movements, they're telling you something ancient. You are safe enough for me to let my guard down. That's not small. That's primal trust. Now ask yourself this. Does your cat ignore strangers the same way they ignore you? Not exactly. Most cats either hide, watch cautiously, or stay alert around unfamiliar people. But with you, they relax. They disengage. They stop performing. Here's what's actually happening. Your cat isn't ignoring you the same way they ignore others. With strangers, silence is caution. With you, silence is comfort. That's a completely different emotional state. Think about that for a second. Your cat doesn't feel the need to impress you or monitor you or figure you out. They already know you. And what makes this even more meaningful is they choose to be unguarded around you. Cats are selective, extremely selective. They don't offer that version of themselves to just anyone. So when your cat ignores you, it's not absence, it's exclusivity. Now this is the part most people never understand. Have you ever tried to force interaction when your cat is ignoring you? Calling them repeatedly, picking them up, trying to get their attention. It feels harmless, but here's what's actually happening. When your cat chooses distance, they're setting a boundary. And respecting that boundary is how trust grows. Ignoring that boundary slowly breaks it. Think about that for a second. Your cat isn't ignoring you to push you away. They're trusting you not to chase them. That's a test most owners don't realize they're taking. And here's where it all connects. Remember earlier when I said if your cat suddenly stops ignoring you and becomes overly clingy, it matters? This is what I was talking about. Because when a cat feels safe, they create space. But when something feels wrong, they close that space. So the ability to ignore you is actually a sign that everything is right. And when you respect it, something powerful happens. Your cat comes back on their own, not because you forced it, but because they chose you. That choice is the purest form of connection a cat can give. Now, here's the warning. What happens when your cat stops ignoring you? At first, it might feel good. They're following you, meowing more, staying close. But here's what's actually happening. Sudden changes in behavior, especially increased attention, can signal stress, discomfort, or even illness. Studies on domestic cats show that behavioral shifts are often the earliest indicators of underlying issues. Your cat doesn't use words. They use patterns. And when those patterns change, they're trying to tell you something. Think about that for a second. The quiet independence you once worried about might actually be what you should hope to see, because it means your cat feels normal, safe, balanced. So if that silence suddenly disappears, don't ignore it. Observe it. Because now your cat isn't just existing with you, they're reaching for you. And they might need something more than attention. So when your cat ignores you, do you actually know what that means? It's not distance, it's not indifference, and it's definitely not rejection. It's trust. It's safety. It's your cat feeling so secure in your presence that they don't need to react at all. That's not ignoring you. That's your cat being completely at peace with you. And that quiet moment, that space they take without fear, it was never small to them. And it shouldn't be small to you either.